Do you
Um,
remember anything specifically about this VOD that you felt like you wanted help with, or like any specific moments or anything?
um, I guess I'll kind of show you like as we go through it,
Okay.
or like let you know.
Okay.
There's a point, there's something on the second point where I was like deciding whether to like contest a point or to use my ult or not, and
Okay. Let me
yeah.
ask you a question. Why is it that you're here?
I guess I know I could be playing yeah, I go high ground. I guess it's just like I'm afraid of getting like instantly picked or something if they have a like a widow or somebody, or
Yeah.
I'm kind of afraid of getting bursted down if I play too much on the high ground like by myself. It's like I don't think the Mercy's gonna pocket me or anything, but
Well, okay. The issue with this is that you'll see that it's like as you're going through
mhm,
this, right? You haven't really done anything to actually prevent the enemy from going through here,
mhm,
right? Like it's just kind of been you like
mhm.
standing here and you've had like zero involvement, right?
Yeah.
And
Mhm,
it's like the issue with this is that you do raise a good point though about the potential of there being a widowmaker, right?
yeah,
But
I don't want to feed instantly.
uh-huh. But the issue is that it's like at the same time,
Mhm,
it's either you're going to you're so it's like what you would decide to do at that point then is
mhm,
that you would play up here cautiously, right?
mhm.
Or like
Just play behind.
you would potentially be playing up here, or I would even say down here would be okay, right? Just simply because of the
Mhm.
fact that at least it's giving you the
Line of
just
sight.
exactly just the sake of being able to like fire shots and potentially
Mhm.
follow up on something that happens here is better than you not building alt and doing like nothing back here, right?
Okay.
And
Mhm.
this isn't lagging for you or anything, right? Like it's good.
No, it's fine.
No.
It's fine. Mm.
Yeah, I just got a new computer, so I'm kind of it's kind of cool I can do this. But yeah. So like basically yeah. So essentially, I would be saying that like I think your best bet would
Mhm.
be to potentially play like around here. You have to poke, you do your thing, but
Mhm.
you need to provide yourself that opportunity to actually do that. And your mercy won't pocket you if you're not up here.
Mhm.
Like okay, so she won't pocket you definitely if you're
But
down here. Does that make sense?
yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it's like she's much more likely to pocket somebody that's like here, right? Somebody that's going to
Mhm.
take action early and somebody that's going to start getting her value early as well, right?
Mhm.
So if you don't take the initiative to get up here, she's definitely not going to pocket you. If she doesn't pocket you, that's kind of on her, but at that point,
Mhm.
like that says something more about her than you, right? Like at
Mhm.
least you took the initiative, and then from there, if you know that your mercy isn't pocketing you, you can like try to peek, try to get her to come up, tell her if you're in voice chat, if you're not, whatever. But then if not, at that point, then you can at least play a bit more passive and just focus like play a bit more safer position,
So
if
I can
that's the
just
case.
play more, or I can just start more aggressively
Yeah, like
compared
so
to starting
it's not even
passively.
yeah, it's not even so much like aggressively, but
Mhm.
it's more so just something where it's like you have to start in a position where you at least have more options, right? Because if you
Mhm.
start here and you find out that there's no Widowmaker, do you notice how now it's like, oh well shit, I haven't done anything throughout this entire point,
Yeah, I have to readjust at that
right?
point.
Whereas if you're up here and it's like, okay, they have a Widowmaker, I have to play passive, you can at least make that decision, right? You can't make
Mhm.
that decision down here, right? Or if anything, you might have to use a cooldown to get up here, right? And that's where like after the first 15 seconds, right, you're able to press tab, like you're able to see what it is that the enemy is running.
Mhm. I can start off in that position just so I have better line of sight,
Yeah,
so I can like start engaging earlier.
yeah. Even literally just standing here for like 15 seconds and not peeking
Mhm.
like would be better than being down here because at that point at least you're able to see more opportunities as they happen, right? You can focus down the Pharah
Mhm.
who's getting low, the Mercy potentially. You can bait out bubbles from the Zarya by focusing on her. You,
Mhm.
you could just be building up, farming ult charge like crazy. You need to take advantage of the fact that this is long, a long, grueling sightline, and it's gonna be a pain in the ass for them to push through it, right?
Yeah.
So you have to actually take advantage of that. So it's like
Okay.
when you say like here, like I'm
Mhm.
missing shots or something. Like I'm not saying specifically here, but like just in general, when you're telling me that like
Yeah.
oh I missed a lot of shots, it's also important not only to be hitting shots, but it's also important for you to provide yourself with a lot of opportunities to miss, right? And here, like where you maybe get one or two opportunities to see somebody who's low,
Mhm.
compared to up here where you get like maybe five or six, it's a bigger difference, right? So missing one won't be as consequential. Like missing one up here because you'll have more opportunities won't be as consequential as missing one down here. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right. Any questions about that? Does that make sense? Like, do you have anything
Um,
else you'd like to add? Or...
no, just to sum it up, just basically just try to start up there just so I have more line of sight or more opportunities to do damage early.
Yeah, pretty much that. Because you see, now you're forced to do this,
Yeah.
and then
Mhm.
at this point, you end up getting. Okay, I thought you would get the kill, but you don't, which is fine. But it's like, I think you could potentially be like preventing pressure from happening earlier on, right? Like
Yeah.
you could
Mm.
say um, like you could be firing at the Zarya earlier so that she isn't able to be as aggressive with her team
Mhm.
here and kill your Sigma. Or maybe you could have fired at the Pharah earlier so then she isn't able to build up like more ult. Whatever, really, like anything. Because like if you look at it, like this seems minute and maybe it is a bit nitpicky, but if you look at the Maze ultimate, like
Mm.
the Maze ult charge, she's at
Yeah.
what 25,
Mm.
and the fair is at 23, right? And then you're at 15
Yeah.
because you've been
Mm.
you ended up taking the initiative to come back up here, which is good. But I think you could have been doing it a little bit earlier, and
Yeah, I
like
could have
making
just
them.
started up there instead of
Yeah,
having to rotate up there.
exactly.
So I get. Uh,
And then you see how
yeah.
it's like now they're getting closer, and it's kind of like a range you don't really want to be in, right?
Yeah, and then I had to back off pretty quickly.
Exactly. And then this is more downtime, where it's like you can't be, you can't afford to miss shots, right?
Yeah.
Land a good shot there, right? You miss shots,
Oh,
this is fine.
yeah. I tried to go up there to the little ledge.
But, yeah.
I thought it would have been good, but
Maybe the one issue that might come from that is the fact
is
that
the
the fair
fair?
is so
Yeah.
close, right? And
Yeah.
that might be a bit of an issue. And that's purely, I would say, if the Pharah was like,
Hmm.
if they were like back here somewhere, and you decided to make this movement, this would be okay, right? Because like
But
if you
is it
think
just?
about it,
Mm,
if you think about it as like you trying to maintain your effective range, right? You want to be at like a medium to long
yeah.
distances, Ash. Like
Hmm.
when you're here and they start getting close, you naturally want to kite, right? And you want to
Hmm.
back off potentially, right? That's assuming that they can reach you. If it's like, if they're playing like, I don't know, like the Reaper, uh, who's another close range hero? I don't know.
May? I
Sure,
don't know.
whatever, May,
Yeah.
right? Like just being up here, like it's not as likely that they're gonna jump on you or get in your face, right? So it's like,
Yeah. Mm,
right. So it's like here you can afford to stay here a little bit longer, but because of the fact that they have the May who can get you from range, but then like the Pharah as well who can be like firing from range and like she can get in your face kind of by taking high ground or
hmm.
by being in the air. This is where you're gonna want to start kiting and potentially going back here a bit earlier, right? And then from here potentially here or potentially here, right? And like the key thing is that you're constantly keeping yourself out of reach. But when you use your
Coach. Yeah.
yeah, you use your coach gun here,
Mm.
now it's like you're kind of in a weird position where you're like they're getting a bit too close for comfort, and it's like
Yeah. It's like a. I don't know. The range is like.
I think before you coach gun, if you came back here, this would may have been a little bit better,
Hmm.
right? So
Instead of
coming
trying
back
to
to where
like.
you are instead of up here.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
I would say if anything, use the coach gun. I would say you don't really need to use the coach gun to begin with, but
Hmm.
it's like if you did decide to use the coach gun, it would be much more beneficial for you to use to get back, right? And
Okay.
that would also provide your mercy cover if she is smart enough to to be damage boosting you. But that's that's a whole nother
Mm.
story, right? But the whole thing is that you're at least providing yourself uh, optimal optimal opportunities to actually like do something, right? As opposed to like here, where I'm pretty sure you're just gonna like
Yeah. It was kind
fall.
of risky if I went up there. Yeah. I was too close. I was pretty close, I guess, if I went up there.
See, see how close that was? You almost got hooked, right?
Yeah, I think I started kind of backing up when I figured Roadhog was over there.
Yeah. Why is the third person to
And
do that? There. Well, let me go back and watch this real quick. So one thing typically with
mm,
Ashe, um, your reload takes quite a bit of time. Not as long as it used to take before the reload buff. But one thing that you want to be considering is that when you reload, it's since you're not going to be outputting anything, right? When you're reloading, it's a pretty opportune time for you to change angles, right? So
okay.
rather than being here, where pretty much all the attention of the enemy is, right?
Yeah.
You moving. What's the actual button for this though? Free cam, whatever. You moving towards like. Is there somebody up here? I swear. What the fuck? Oh, that's your teammates. Okay. I was just so confused for a second there. Yeah, but like if instead of reloading and staying here, right, where you can get punished, right, or not necessarily punished, but like they know you're there, right? So they're going to be intentionally averting from there, or they're going to be like directing a lot of fire there to try to get you out, right? Instead, potentially you can come over here, and then this is where you can get the dynamite because they don't expect you there, right? So rather than staying in cover behind the cart, they're now
Huh?
out in the open. Do you see what I'm saying?
So just like whenever, just basically when I need to reload, I can kind of just reposition during that time.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's not something that you have to do, right? It's like if you're not
hmm
getting pressured, don't, right? Like you don't need to. But it's like when you feel like it starts getting a bit antsy, you need to change angles to look for a different like a pick or something. That's like a rule of thumb that you can follow where it's like, okay, where I'm reloading, I can at least use this time where I'm not doing something to help set myself up for when I'm ready to do something again. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right? Because it's like if you're up here, right, and like the enemy is like way back there, and you're like reloading, you don't have to be like, all right, time to change angles. I'm like gonna go down here. It doesn't make sense, right? If you can stay up here, it's fine. But if they
As
start
long as you're not getting pressured.
exactly, as long as you're not getting pressured and you know you're not going to, why move, right? But it's like in
hmm
this situation where it's like you're being like exposed to a lot. The
Yeah,
Lucius
they're getting kind of
Zarya's
close.
getting close. Yeah, they're getting close. It's
Mhm.
risky, right? This is where you maybe want to move, but nothing ended up really happening here, so I mean, I think we're good. That's a lot of ultimates, but yeah. Yeah, hold on. Let me actually look for the free camp button. Is that a button? But does that make sense? Like that
Y-
any questions about that or
no, just yeah, I think I understand that pretty well.
okay. Free cam. Whatever. We'll look at this later. Okay. Yeah, let's move ahead. So,
Okay.
interesting. Let's look. So I think. Do you see any issues right now with what's going on?
Um, I guess they're respawning, so I go back up high ground to. Yeah, I think I went up there a little too late,
Yeah.
maybe.
Right. It's not that they're
Yeah.
respawning; it's that they already
Mhm.
have respawned, and it's like you
Yeah.
haven't done anything again to make us walk like a living hell.
Okay.
Right. It's like
Mm.
you're taking a bit too much time to okay, think of it like this, right? The attackers have to worry about the clock and you don't, right? Because if an attacker, if it's in overtime, right, and the attackers walk off the cart, what happens?
Uh, if they're in overtime and they walk off, then the cart stops. The round's over.
Yeah, exactly, it's over, right? So they have
Mm.
to stay on the cart for as long as possible, and
Mhm.
they need as much time as they can get, so then they don't get put into that situation, right? So it's like when you are back here, and you're letting them walk through here without
Mhm.
actually like wasting their time, right? You
Yeah.
aren't actually like being as valuable as you could be. And alternatively, you can be thinking of it as like, I'm not building ult charge either,
Yeah, I need to be pressuring them immediately, like as soon as they come
Yeah,
out of spawn every time.
yeah. And you could be thinking, you could be building your Mercy ult charge at this point, right? You can call. Were you in comms for this or no?
Um, I don't think so.
Yeah. All right. Well, no big deal. But I don't know. You can spam group up with me or something. I don't know.
Uh,
Or like I need healing. I don't know. But like, yeah, it's not that big of a deal. But like the whole point is that you in particular, right?
mhm.
You in particular can at least be a bit more proactive,
Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
And you could think like for a tracer, right? If a tracer is like trying to walk through here, which probably isn't the smartest move, but like
Hmm.
if a tracer's like here or something, or if they do decide to walk through, and again, this is why they're at like what rank is this?
Just a diamond game. It's a
Diamond.
console. It's console though.
I mean,
I think it's like
yeah.
low diamond probably or something like that. I don't know
Okay.
exactly.
Yeah. So low diamond, like the reason
Mm.
people are at like bronze, silver. We might have already talked about this, but bronze,
Hmm.
silver, gold, plat, diamond, whatever, right? Is because they're
Mm.
making mistakes, right? And that's
Yeah.
where a tracer walking through here, you don't have the opportunity to get a one-shot headshot on her if you don't present yourself that opportunity, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah,
I'm just being too reactive. Like just going up there too late and when I
let's
could have been already
actually
started.
let's actually look and see what happens through here to see. There we are. There's a tracer, right?
Hmm.
See how they pretty much like freely walk through. The Sigma's the only one up here, right?
Hmm.
And look, she's half. Like not necessarily half, but like close to
Yeah.
half, right?
Hmm.
This is where you and a damage boost, one body shot, boom, done. This is a dead player. And then this
Yeah.
forces, oh, maybe she'll res, boom, dead, right? That's what I'm saying.
Hmm.
It's like you need to like be able to actually be there to force these things, right?
Okay.
So it's
Hmm.
like, yes, you're missing shots like back here, but
Hmm.
you should have more shots available to you to begin with. Does that make sense?
Yeah. That
Yeah.
makes sense.
Uh, that's unfortunate. Yeah, that's just unfortunate.
Yeah, I think I got double headshot or something by the way.
Yeah, he probably did.
Uh,
But I guess that's just kind of the issue of not having the. Come on. Ah,
I honestly don't know how I missed that like one of those shots, but
it happens. It didn't happen. No, it didn't happen actually. That didn't happen. I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't see
yeah, yeah, yeah.
that.
This is like my worst game out of like the 4 or 5 games I played, and I don't know.
No, you're good. But still, it's like even if you miss those
Mhm.
shots, that happens. It happens. But it's like you have to actually like let yourself take. Oh, you left click. That's how you do it. Ah, okay, cool. Gotcha. All right, but yeah, you have to like be able to present yourself with opportunities earlier on. So then when you
Mhm.
like whiff the shots on the resing mercy,
Yeah.
it's not as big of a deal because at least like you're building up ult, you can throw out Bob. Like you still don't have Bob. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's
Mhm.
like you're not you're gonna get Bob now probably, yeah, or not probably you do, but is it gonna be enough to win you the fight?
No, I don't. Oh, well, actually did. Yeah, I think they did kill. I think we might have won that fight, maybe.
Now I can go over here and see what's going on. That's cool.
I guess we did win the
I
fight.
guess he won the fight, right? But it's leaving it very close, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
And then now think of it like this, right? You're not here, and look at what's happening.
They get to walk for free.
And you're not building ult charge again,
Yeah.
right? So it seems to me like the theme of like what this VOD is going to be
Mhm.
is that you're constantly behind in some way, right? Whether it's ult charge, whether it's you being able to follow up on something,
Mhm.
you're just never actually there.
I feel like I'm just playing like too passively, too reactively, I guess,
Yeah,
because I don't want to die.
yeah.
But
It's like you don't want to die, but it's like
mhm.
you have to also yeah, you have to also think that it's like you can also like think of it like this, right? So like that very
Mhm.
first fight we were watching when you were like back here,
Mhm.
right? Are you likely to die back here?
No, and probably not all the way back there.
Not really, right? If
Yeah.
they're coming from spawn here, not
Yeah.
likely, right? But at
Hmm.
that point, you might as well be in spawn if you're not gonna die, right? If that's the issue. You see what I'm saying? Because it's like you're not gonna
Yeah.
die here, but are you
Mhm.
gonna get value? No, right? You're not gonna get value back here really until they
Mhm.
actually walk up to the corner, and by then they haven't really used anything to make it past this corner. The whole thing is you want them to expel as much resources as early as
Mhm.
possible, so then they're left without it during the fight, or they're left without it when they actually need it, like when they're trying to traverse a corner, or like they're trying to like traverse like this ground here. You want them to waste their
Mhm.
abilities. You want to waste their time, right? Wasting
Yeah.
abilities makes them waste time, right? So you, by not being able to be up there early on and like potentially being like with your mercy and like getting value from here,
Mhm.
that will that's gonna affect you through like a lot of this VOD, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Probably the same.
I get the idea.
Yeah, I think we lost this fight. Or yeah.
Do you see why I don't really like this angle that you're in?
Yeah, it's kind of close. They can just turn on me pretty quickly.
It's close, but it's more so like it's such a tight sight line,
Mhm.
and it's like again like it's as a result of you not doing something earlier, right? Like, cause
Mhm.
like if you think about it as like you being, um, right. So imagine you're up here, right? You're
Mhm.
making them waste time. You're building up abilities, or you're building up abilities. You're making them waste abilities, right? And then you end up rotating. You back off towards here. You're firing a bit more. You back off towards like around here. You're firing a bit more, right? At some point, somebody's gonna die, right? And then
Yeah.
at that point, when somebody's dying, that's potentially one less person that can focus you, right? Or one less person that can help deal with you, right? That's where taking a weird angle like this
Mhm.
or like this makes sense, right? Because you're overwhelming them, right? But the one issue with being right here is that you're kind of cut off with your team, so you have to make sure that you have somebody with you. But it's like here, it's like
Mhm.
you haven't done enough early on in the fight. Like, so you're here trying to look for picks, which makes
Yeah.
sense, but it's like at this point, it's just way too late, right?
Yeah, the fight's pretty much already like
If
lost
you
at this point.
if you as a DPS decide to take
Mhm.
angles, you need to do it when either you've lost somebody, so then you could take when you lose somebody early,
Mhm.
you end up having to take angles so then you could find a counter pick, right? Where here it's way too late, right?
Yeah.
It's like
Mhm.
it's not even so much this that I have an issue with as much as just like it's you not getting value from this is as a result of something else. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's like the stuff leading up to this kind of
Yeah,
like
exactly. Because like here at this point, it's like you're required to hit every single shot on your,
it-
and then
yeah.
now there's a tracer on you. It's
Yeah.
kind of
Pretty much die here.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's done. Alright. Yeah. Let's just keep watching.
In the rock. Take cover. Fire at will. Never die. I still have use for you. Allow me.
I could not hit this Mercy. She was so good. I don't know. I just couldn't hit her.
This is where I would say like if you get somebody down
Yeah.
low like this, right? Hip
Hmm.
fire. Just go for the hip fire.
Yeah. That's what I keep. Sometimes I stay scoped in too long. I don't just and I could just finish them off by unscoping.
Yeah.
Like
Like this is
I
like
need to do
this
that
is the
more often.
symptom of like a
Hmm.
lot of Widowmaker players. They do this too. They they end up having a bad habit of like they headshot somebody, but it's for not quite enough, right?
Hmm.
So then they're down to this low, and instead of just like SMGing them and finishing them off, they end up like scoping in again, or they charge up another shot, hoping that they're gonna land it, and then they end up whiffing it for some reason, right?
That's probably yeah. That's probably where I got it from. I used to play Widow a lot, and I that's why like I don't know. I have a tendency not to do the hip fire. Like I try to go
Yeah.
for the second.
Do you see the issue with what you're doing right now, though?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you just have to use this for like literally zero reason, right?
Yeah, I could not kill that Mercy. I got her low, but she just, I don't know.
No, I mean, I would say you definitely needed to hit fire here.
Yeah. I need to start. I need to stop like staying scoped in so long. I tried to hit fire, but it was like too late. I think by that.
You have to watch out for the ones who
Okay.
So I should just died there on cart or I don't know.
I mean, yeah, you can be wasting time, but I think there's just like a bigger issue. Let me go back and look because I don't know if like I don't think it's exactly right to say like just because you missed the mercy is the reason you lost, but it's like you're firing here. You get that
I
off.
still have you.
I think you should be looking for a dynamite here potentially.
Okay.
Like try to get a dynamite out a little bit earlier, but I don't know if that's exactly like an issue. It's just more just like it's like you don't want to be holding on to your abilities for like
Too long.
longer than you need. Yeah, because what you want to be thinking about, it's not so much that you don't want to be holding on to your abilities for too long. It's more so it's like the longer you hold on to your abilities, the longer or the less often you're using them, right? Or the less often you have the
Yeah.
opportunity to make them valuable, right?
That makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, it is a weird one. I think, yeah, probably in hindsight you should be going for the mercy, like with
They hit fire, yeah.
Fire.
I think I like realized that, but I realized it like way too late instead of after missing all or
Yeah.
the following.
At that point, I would say like you build up the. I would even argue that how many people are alive? It's just you. And
I think everybody on my
it's
team
you
died pretty
versus
much.
4.
Yeah.
I don't think this wouldn't be smart to like bob. So I think
Yeah, that's what
that's
I was debating whether to bob the point just to stall for time or not. I didn't know. Like
I would only consider the bob if you killed the mercy earlier. Right? Because then like the fight would be in your favor earlier, or like you would have more people available on your team to follow up on it. Right? And like you would think like right now, instead of focusing on the mercy, you would be focusing on somebody else to build up ultimate, right? And then from there you could potentially have ultimate and bob. But like you might have not dropped, and you might have like, but I don't really like
it was
coaching
kind
like
of
that,
messy
'cause it's
fight.
kind of like, yeah, I don't really like coaching like that because it's kind of like in hindsight type of thing. I just think like mechanically you did that a bit wrong, but whatever. Let's just move on to the next one because nothing really can do. So now you know you have Bob. What's your mentality here? What is it that you're trying to what is it that you're trying to do?
Well, I guess I'm like kind of I guess confused. I don't know how I should use Bob more for like a distraction or just
So
I don't know.
you
Should I put
want
him
to
behind the enemy team or?
you want to think of what do you feel like makes what do you feel makes Torbjorn's turret irritating? When is it that it's most irritating to have to deal with the Torbjorn turret?
When it's when it's hard to kill, I guess maybe the positioning, like it's like far away or something. I don't know. Maybe.
Right. So like in particular when you're trying to do something else, right?
Mhm.
And there's a turret like firing at you. That's why for Tracer it's such a nightmare because it's like you have to make sure to kill that turret first, right? So
Yeah.
you want to think
Yeah.
of Bob as a turret in a way, but obviously much more powerful. But it's just like you want to be thinking of it as like a seventh man,
Mhm.
right? So what you want to ask yourself when you have Bob is when do I feel like a seventh player would be the most irritating for this team to deal with? Right? So if we look at this,
I think I tried to throw him at the cart there, at least just
to stall it.
yeah, because there's not really anybody.
I
I
don't
don't
think
know.
I don't think that's necessarily. What are you running? Sigma Zarya. I don't think that's
Hmm.
necessarily bad because what ends up happening is that Sigma and Zarya are like the typical comps that you get, like Sigma Roadhog or Sigma Zarya, or well, no, that's I already mentioned that. Roadhog Zarya, sorry. Those compositions don't really like playing on the cart, or
Yeah.
neither of the Roadhog or the Zarya want to be on the cart for too long, if at all, right? The idea is that they want to be playing at around the cart and they want to be looking for kills, right? Or they
Hmm.
want to be building up their ultimate or supporting their DPS doing whatever. Um, I don't think the Bob on the cart is exactly a bad move. Um,
Yeah, there's nobody there contesting it.
yeah,
They're just
because
pushing it for
what
free.
that does is that it provides your team a bit of leverage.
Hmm.
Again, I think this is just like a little bit unfortunate that like you ended up dying the last fight like so late, and then you ended up to
Yeah.
this fight
Let
late,
mess.
Hmm.
right? And that's kind of um, it's nitpicky, but it's like it's kind of the
Hmm.
this is the type of thing that a high level player won't make the mistake of, where it's like how to like execute somebody simply and like potentially win the fight. But I think let me because I want to say this, right? So one issue I had was that like you took a bit of a weird position here, where it's like you're firing, and then you back off from that sight line when you know the Mei is backing off.
Oh yeah, I guess we both backed off.
Yeah, I think
At
you
the same
could
time.
potentially be holding this for a bit longer and firing at people who are here. This is where the opportunity for the dynamite would come in,
Hmm.
right? Something like this. Um, I
Hmm.
think that's the bigger issue because there was there's a bit of downtime where it's like you're here, and I think you could have done a little bit more in main maybe, or at least you could have been
Hmm.
like more of a position where you could see more earlier, and then like maybe you wouldn't have felt forced to like be this far up like for so long. I don't know. I think yeah. I think it's kind of an issue of you being up here for a bit longer than maybe you want to, and like you getting value earlier and for longer, and then you can move up here, and then you can move here, and by then the fight would be over, right?
Yeah. If
Potentially. I don't know, but
uh
it's really finicky, and I just really
yeah.
the reason I'm getting so like poignant about this is because I really hate like giving somebody the advice that it's like, oh, you should have killed this Mercy. That's the one reason you lost. But it's like it is kind of it's kind of an issue. But I feel like so like the reason that I'm making a hassle about this is because
Yeah.
it's like when you are watching back a VOD, right? And you get to this point here. Where'd you use Bob? Here. When you're watching back this moment and you see
Hmm.
they use Grav, Blizzard, and and Beat as well, and it's like, what could I have done in this situation? A lot of the times, there's really nothing better that you could have done. But the issue
Yeah.
is what you need to be thinking instead is what could I have done to prevent this situation right now from happening to begin with? Right? So that's
Yeah.
where
Hmm.
sometimes you want to be going back and looking back at the previous fight or like what led up to this fight and understand what it is that you could have done there that would change the course of this fight. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Because at that point, uh, like at some points, they when they use all their ults, it's just too. There's
Yeah.
nothing really you
Sometimes
can do to turn the outcome. But they could have
exactly.
done something earlier.
Yeah, exactly.
Or
They use Valk, Beat, Grav, and males.
yeah.
Like realistically, there's no real way that you can win
Mhm.
that like
Yeah.
reliably. It's kind of just like, all right, go next, and then we'll win with ults for the next fight. Um, yeah, there's really nothing you could have done about that, but there is something you could have done about the previous fight.
Yeah. I needed to hit fire on the Mercy.
Yeah.
Go. I keep you here.
shot too high, I think, on the Mercy.
Um,
I shoot a little above her sometimes.
yeah, you do, but I have more of an issue of like, do you notice how it's like how few opportunities you have to actually like land shots?
Yeah, I could be playing, I guess, more with the team over there, left like behind them, so I have a
I
better
would
line
even
of sight with
even
them.
say like right here,
Okay. Yeah, like an off angle.
right? Or
Mhm.
can you see them from here? No.
Uh,
Can you see them from
yeah.
here?
Okay. Okay.
Potentially, yeah, right. Like up here, right? But the whole point is that again, you need to provide yourself with that opportunity so that it's like when that one mercy like flies up here for like a brief moment and then comes back
Yeah.
down, it
Mm.
doesn't come down to you being like, oh, I should have hit that. That's like kind of you're missing. You think of it like this, right? You're not taking any shots, so you're not missing any, but you're missing
Yeah.
a lot of opportunities to take shots. It's like you're not actually
I'm not in the position where I have
right.
like more opportunities to miss and hit.
Right, because you
Like,
see, as soon as they come forward, you can think
yeah.
if you're here, or like
Hmm.
let's say even like right here, right? You're firing. They start eventually firing at you. What do? You move forward, and then you take this position, right?
Yeah, like
Or
rotate
then
over
you even
there.
move over here, and
Mhm.
then you move up here, right? But it's like you need to put yourself into a position where it's like your sight lines are narrow, but
Mhm.
you're able to consistently see what's going on, right? So like just for an example, right, on attack, I don't know if we're actually gonna see that here, but it's like
Mhm.
a lot of times Widowmakers in lower ranks they'll go up here, right, and they'll
Yeah.
see what's going on. But what's the issue with being up here?
Mm. If well, I guess if you're like if you're defending up there or like or you're attacking,
You're attacking. You're attacking. Yeah,
if you go up there when you're attacking, I mean, I guess if they can call you out pretty easily and there's not really anywhere to
yeah.
hide.
That's the big one, right?
Well,
Because it's like if you're on the high ground up here and
yeah.
you're super close, right, or
Hmm.
not necessarily even close, but it's just like you're in a position where you don't have much cover. The only
Yeah.
way you can take cover is by potentially backing off here. And then like now you're in this position where it's like they know where you are and you don't know where they are and they can fire at you as soon as like you peek, right? The only way to
Hmm.
get out is by going down, right? And then this puts you in a position where you're still out in the open, right? You want to have as
Yeah.
little,
It's not really yeah.
and that's where a position like this is really good for Widowmaker, right? Because you see how you can look at like pretty much the exact same thing that's going on, but they just instantly take cover, right? And then you
Seems
can look
like
at here,
uh
you can go here, right? You can constantly be looking, but it's like you're able to see as much as possible. Whereas like up here, the issue is that pretty much everybody knows the spot, obviously. So it's like
yeah.
there's going to be a tension there, and it's like you want to be picking spots that are a bit like unorthodox in a way, right?
Hmm.
So like potentially even like back here isn't bad, right? Because like you see, you can look at that sight line, see anybody who walks out from there. You can widen it a bit. You can widen it a bit. You can move back here. You see that?
Yeah, I feel like I need a position where I have more like line of sight.
Yeah, more. You want to put yourself in a position where it's like you have as many opportunities as possible, right? But it's
Yeah,
like,
I did the same thing that
and
I'm
you have
doing
a
on the first point
yeah,
with that Ashe on this one, where I'm like kind of waiting for them to come around the corner instead of being already having them in my line of sight
yeah.
from like the beginning.
Because like this whole time now you're just like firing at shots
Mhm.
and your team is engaging close, but it's like you're not actually able to follow up on anything,
Yeah.
right? Good sleep from Yana. Think you'll
Mhm.
kill that? Hope so. Nope.
I think she tries to dive us. I think I body shot her and kill her here.
Yeah. Nice.
Or we kill her, yeah.
But do you see how this fight went on for too long and then now it's just like it's kind of over,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, I think you could be getting a lot more value earlier on and then going up here.
Just rotate.
It
Just
really would.
I'm like going to these points too. Like these like I'm like
Super passive
position
points.
yeah positioning super passively early on or like instead of
Alternatively,
like
you can think like
rotating there.
you could be like here, and then you could
Uh-huh.
grapple with this and like get a jump shot, right? You end up jumping and firing, or a
Yeah.
lot of times you see higher level widowmakers, especially when you're facing another widowmaker. they'll grapple shot up here,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, over that thing.
Although on console it's a little bit unreliable, but it's still like good to try it, right? Because at least it opens up an
Yeah.
opportunity for you and it makes you harder to hit.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think we get.
A lot of
Oh.
your fights end up coming like down to the wire because like you're
Yeah.
not giving yourself enough opportunities to like follow up on stuff. You see how like tight this angle
No
is, and
one
then like
can
you end up
hide
like
from
you
my
can
sight.
widen it if you want to relatively simply. Like this.
Yeah, like I can move left.
Yeah. Nice. And this is where I would just back off. Yeah. And okay, so one thing you popped infrasights.
Mhm.
One thing that you want to keep in mind with infrasights is that it allows you to be as aggressive as you want, right? Because you have the potential of one-shotting somebody, but the thing is that they don't know where you are, right? When you pop infrasights, you have the potential to be in the weirdest positions that you want. You can be like right here because you know exactly when they're gonna walk out.
Oh, I
You
can.
can
I
be
can like I
like
can peek weird angles,
you
kind
can
of.
peek any weird angle that you choose.
Yeah.
Anything. You can
Mm.
be like it potentially allows you to hard flank, right? Just simply because of the fact that if you know they aren't there, then what's the risk, right? It's like
Yeah.
the
Mm.
only risk is that like they turn around and try to deal with you, but at that point it's like they didn't know you were there and you had the first shot, right? So
Yeah, I
I
had to drop
think
on them. Mm.
yeah, I think you could be a little bit more aggressive when you
Aggressive.
pop it
Yeah.
potentially. Whoa. Right, because it's like you, I mean, let's actually look, because I wasn't even taking that into account. When did you pop it?
I think I popped. I think I popped it as soon as
No
I got out
one
of
can
spawn.
hide
Like
from my sight.
Yeah, so, like, right
early.
here, this is where I
Mm.
would say, move.
That was probably popped it too early because I
Yeah,
wasn't really in the best
either
position
too
yet.
early, right? Because the idea is that it's like, you want to make sure that as Widowmaker, you're there for when your teammates are there, right? You want to be a nuisance, and you want to be a threat to the enemy team when they're
Mhm.
focusing on your team rather than you, right? So it's like, at this point, I think you potentially could have popped it a little bit later, like in
Mhm.
hindsight, but whatever. You popping ultimate right now, like tells me that you should now be moving,
Up there, yeah, up there at
like
the window or
potentially, like
something.
right here,
Mm.
right, and you can see as soon as they peek, you'll be right there and you'll be ready for it. You can be like right here, you can be in whatever weird position it is that you want, because you know, as this is a bit risky, but like the the point is that as soon as you know that they aren't looking at you, you have the freedom to move like pretty much anywhere, as long as you know that you can get out of it, obviously, right? Um,
Yeah, yeah. I should have been like maybe at the window before I popped it, and then I could have picked the window.
right, you end up getting the kill here, and then this is where I would say you need to start. Like, if anything, I would say get out of this position and like maybe
Hmm.
take a bit more cover because you're low, right? And then this is where you would potentially ask for healing and then move up, or like not even ask. Like you would just be
Kind
up
of push
here,
up. Hmm.
and you would be looking, right? Like looking for a kill. This is where I would say you could potentially drop and like boom, grapple out, right? But that's like again like super risky. But it's
Yeah,
like the whole point is that it's like that the opportunity presents itself only because you have infrasights and you can see what's going on. If you can see
yeah.
what's going on and you know you're not going to get punished for momentarily and you're confident you can get the shot on like this or something, or
Hmm.
like if you're up here, can you see that? No, you can't.
Mm.
But like
Right from the right side, I can. Yeah,
yeah, right.
that
But
side
the
I
whole
can.
point is that you can see when she goes for it and where she
Hmm.
is. So that's where you can boom, right?
Take advantage of like
Yeah.
the ampersite more.
Yeah, that's why I
Like,
say like in hindsight you probably would have been healed if you just walked up here, but like
mhm.
you have to like I think like with the you getting low, you need to take cover and then move up. But let's I want to go back and see how long it actually took for you to actually what you got shot. You got hit there. Yeah, I think in that time you could be grappling and moving up over there and like potentially looking for something.
Mm.
Yeah, this is where yeah I would say like you would want to be grappling like somewhere over there, and
I
then
should
you
have
end up
pushed up after that first kill just to get a better angle, probably.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Uh, what time are we at? Okay, we have a bit more time. Let's go on to the I like this wide angle. This is good. But then this is where I would say you probably want to grapple out.
Yeah, the Lucio, I don't know. I guess he wanted to dive me or something. I don't
Yeah,
know.
he did with the tracer, I think. Yeah, this is good. You have the freedom to take like weird angles if you're dropping the fight.
60 seconds remaining.
Okay, so 60 seconds remaining now. Right, this is where. Oh, great job. This is where you need to actually like start taking a bit more of an aggressive angle. You see what I'm saying? And look, now you have infra sights again. Right. This is where it would be absolutely massive if you could do what?
Pop it now, and then get the Lucio, or
Not specifically the Lucio, not so much like now, but I mean
or
like
just kind of kill them as they're coming, as they're trying to like go across that line of sight, like the open line of sight.
exactly. Right.
Like just kind of stall them by getting killed
Right,
or
because
getting a few picks.
imagine
hmm
you see this, right?
Yeah, I could have slowed them down if I would
Right.
got a few
And
got a few picks there.
that's where I say you could potentially take an aggressive position earlier on, but
hmm
I would say like right here would probably be the best spot, or like you could potentially grapple shot and then go for it, or whatever. Right, but the whole point is that like I think it just needs to be done a bit earlier. Let's actually look.
Mhm.
Hold on. Okay, pop it right here. Go back a bit further.
60 seconds
So you
remaining.
grapple up here. Firing. You get that kill. That's where I would say you need to move.
After that kill, I can kind of reposition to
because they know-
somewhere with more line of sight. Like,
Exactly, because they know you're here now.
yeah, that's true.
Right. As soon as they know that you're here, why stay here? Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Because it puts
they're
you
gonna
at
they're gonna
risk.
keep pressuring me.
During this time, you could be like moving down, or
Mhm.
like potentially playing like here, or like like somewhere around here. More so like around potentially like here. The one risk is obviously that you're gonna split yourself off from your team. That's the one risk. But it's like I think when you have that infra sights, you need to be a bit more proactive with it. I would say probably like right around here would be the best position maybe, because it's like you don't even reveal yourself. You just watch them through infra sights, and then you see as soon as that Reinhardt passes, or if you see somebody like you can see that the Reinhardt's not holding up his shield, right? This
Yeah,
opens
there
up
could
an
be
opportunity to get
there's an
Mercy,
opportunity to.
right? And she's walking in a straight line. I'm pretty sure she'll even jump. She's jumping, right? There you go.
Yeah.
Right. Those are very easy shots to hit, right? Jumping shots, because it's like when they're jumping, they move predictably, and that's where it's like you could potentially be opening yourself up to these things, or even literally again,
Mhm.
you're just forcing the Reinhardt to hold the shield up. That makes him take longer to actually get towards here. It makes him use up more shield earlier on, and then he ends up having less shield for once he's actually here.
It kind of forces them to use their cooldowns a little bit more and their resources.
Exactly. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know why we're all up there.
Right,
Like a whole
you see how it's
party up
kinda
there.
like- can't really do much up here.
Yeah, I
Everybody's
can't.
up here.
I don't know. They're having a party up there. I guess. I don't know.
I'm not really. I gotta get used to these controls.
30 seconds.
And there you go. Right, because they close the ground, they're able to jump on you pretty instantly.
Yeah, just instantly got melted. Like,
I think you definitely could have won this. This would, if you lose this here, it's most likely to be at the top. That's unfortunate, but yeah, that's.
I traded Lucio, but died in there at the end.
5, 4, 3,
Where are they running? Soldier Sombra.
1.
So what do you think is Do you remember what your thought process here was like on the attack?
I'm looking for that. Looking at the high ground because I want to see. There's probably a DPS up there. Like, I can try to pressure them.
Lights out.
Or yeah, there's a soldier up there. The Ana slept him.
Yeah, it's a good sleep. That's the risk that you were afraid of.
Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. Like
Yeah.
something like that happening to me.
That's where it's like.
It's a small chance of happening, I guess.
It's a small
Or-
chance of happening, and then like I think maybe being like instead of maybe here where it's like you're open to spawn,
Hmm.
potentially being here would be a bit better. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, not directly in front of them, just
Yeah,
at
yeah.
a slightly
And
different
then
angle
once you
with line of
see
sight.
that it's like, oh, they don't have anything that can one-shot me, then you
Yeah,
move, right?
then you can play more aggressively at that point.
Yeah. It's all about getting the info first before you actually. Uh, yeah, you have to get that info first before you actually just hit fire. Just hit
Okay,
fire.
just don't coach gun her.
Make her waste time.
Yeah.
I would say that there's a chance you don't even really have to coach gun, but it's like
Okay.
if you know your teammates are with you, or like especially if somebody's pocketing you,
Mhm.
good chance you don't really need the coach gun. Just hip fire, right? It pisses off tracers a lot too. You can think of it kind of as like storm
I,
arrows with
I
Hanzo.
wouldn't even need to scope in for the first shot, or just hit. You can just I can just go straight to hip
Just
firing
go
like
straight
at
to hip
that.
fire because if you get
Okay.
one headshot at that range,
Uh-huh.
they're gonna have to back out.
Yeah.
Because if you hit another body shot, they're pretty much dead.
Mhm.
I think you could be taking a little bit more aggressive a position here.
Like more left side probably, or well, I don't know. Or I guess yeah,
I don't
I guess I move
here,
up there to high ground.
right? And again,
Hmm.
you're doing it while you're reloading. So then now that you're reloaded, you're able to follow up on everything. You see that?
Yeah.
So this is
Like
good.
just
This is really good.
okay.
But then you see that. Uh,
Yeah, I guess both tanks went up there and just
yeah.
I didn't notice. I didn't think they would chase me all the way up there. Like I don't know.
I would say when you get low, you probably want to like drop down or like maybe.
Hmm.
But that's a bit like in hindsight. Again, I don't really like that. I think playing behind the card is good, but it's like I think you could potentially be putting yourself a bit away from the damage that's going on here. I
By
think
playing high ground or
like so I would say you could be potentially playing here, but
Mhm.
what's the risk? What's the risk?
um maybe and just not doing that much damage because of the range. It's a little too far, or
Uh,
fall off. I don't know.
Not really. It's more so that it's like they can still see you. It's not like you've really
Yeah.
changed that much in terms of position.
Mm.
You have good cover here, which is good. But I would say like right now, especially when you get a kill early, right? You can force that by um like when you get this first kill on their
Hmm.
DPS, you're now in a situation where it's a 1v2, right? In terms of DPS. So
Yeah.
you really
Mm.
don't need to do anything aggressive, right? So honestly, going up here honestly isn't really the best bet, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Now that I'm looking at it for the first time, or for the second time, it's like this isn't really the best move. I
Mm.
would say the best move is like when you get that first kill, all you need to do. Okay, the best way to think of it is
Yeah.
when when you kill an enemy Reinhardt, right, and you have your Reinhardt, you don't really need to do much other than play to the advantage of the fact that you have a shield and they don't. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Like we already had the advantage, so there's no need to do anything
Right.
extremely risky.
Exactly, right? Because you can be more aggressive simply because of the fact that you have a shield and
Yeah.
they don't, right? Just simply from
Hmm.
like your Reinhardt can be more aggressive with his shielding. He can like walk forward a bit more, and like force them to like he can enable you guys more. But in this case, where it's like you get the first kill on the DPS, right? In
Hmm.
general, when you get the first kill, or when you lose someone early, like I said earlier on, your team will spread out, right? And they'll start looking for the counter kill. That's exactly what happened to you when you moved up here and you isolated yourself a bit. You see that?
Oh yeah, I kind of did what they would do, or what they should do.
Yeah, they did the good thing here of like, okay, they got a counter kill, and then now they're trying to turn the fight into their favor.
Mhm.
They're taking cover, and then now they know that you're up here, so they're gonna look and try to counter kill, right? This is where I would
Yeah.
say it would probably be better for you to be here, right? And then you can move to the car here potentially,
Just
and
keep
then
rotating left.
maybe even
Yeah.
come up here. But like
Hmm.
uh, this is a bit of a weird angle because it's like if you get shot, then you're just kind of like in that position where you're like
Yeah.
45
Where I'm
health
like
and you're just
huddling.
like,
Hmm.
alright, I need healing, right?
Yeah.
It, that's why I say maybe over here, right? Where you
Okay.
can,
Hmm.
right? And again, you're literally just forcing the fact that you have another DPS and they don't. Right? You're constantly
Yeah.
going to be outputting more damage than they are. You don't really need to try anything too risky like this. Um, your Mercy could have potentially been pocketing you, but it's like you got hooked. It's like
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
Like
don't know. I probably wasn't gonna live there anyways. Maybe.
yeah, she should be pocketing you. Maybe you could have gotten more kills here, like if she damage boosted your dynamite, which is what she
Hmm.
should be doing. But again, that doesn't say anything about you, right?
Yeah.
What is it that you can do? At this point, it's like if you see that she isn't gonna pocket you, or like you call out for it, or like you're not calling out for it because you're not in comms, it's like that's where you need to maybe play a bit more passive and just make sure that you're getting as many opportunities to land shots on people as
Okay.
possible. Right? You end up actually losing this because of that because this is like 2 picks. Yeah, that's what happened.
Probably. The Genji died too. Yeah, we probably need to be. Oh,
Now, where are you? You're coming back,
I'm
right?
like just yeah. I'm just barely getting back now.
Uh, nice. Nice. Good job opening the distance with the coach gun. That's really good. When you see the Roadhog like that and he's getting within
Hmm.
hook range, it's not a bad idea to just coach gun yourself
Yeah, I
back.
kind of just like
Yeah.
like second nature, just kind of like to get a little space between us, like kind of.
I don't like what you did here though,
Mm.
where it's like you're firing and then you start reloading and you're opening up the angle while reloading.
Yeah, I should
Right.
have probably went left. Yeah, I probably should have moved
You
left
need
or
to take cover.
backwards.
You need to take
Hmm.
cover when you're reloading because it's like you have no
Okay.
way to punch back, right? And it's
Yeah,
like
to
you're just
instantly.
kind of out in the open. It's just a risk. It didn't. I don't think you actually got punished for it, but it's something you want to keep in mind. Don't do that.
Mm. I I tried to bob here, but I didn't think his ult would like reach that far. And like
Yeah, no,
yeah,
it does reach pretty far.
yeah, I could have waited. I just didn't know it was gonna be able to reach like all the way over there, push him back.
I don't know why you didn't keep firing though. Why'd you stop firing?
Maybe I don't know. Maybe because I was getting low on bullets. I don't know.
Yeah, you need to keep firing ideally, and then I would just say keep on kiting and just back off. Don't force yourself into the situation of
Yeah, like move left.
let the Roadhog ult ride out. Then once it's gone, then you
Mhm.
can go for the bob. Right? Because
Yeah,
you can still see that the Zarya is still dead. Right? She hasn't respawned yet. She's not coming back. She's still dead. And now she's back. So it's like realistically, you don't really need to force anything right now. What you can think of it as is like when somebody dies, an issue that a lot of lower ranked players will have is that they end up making themselves feel forced to like, okay, we got to go in. We have to like whenever you get a pick, it's like go push 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 push,
mm,
right? Rather than
yeah, I hear that pretty
actually
often.
yeah, right? Rather than actually recuperating your resources and then going, right? Cuz it's like when somebody dies on the enemy team, you don't
Hmm.
have to go at the first second of them dying. They're still dead, right? You can go back in at like the 5th or the 10th, right? Cuz they're still not there, right? You just have to
Yeah,
like
don't have to.
if you can't keep up the pressure and you need to regain resources like you're low on health, you need to reload, you need to wait for your cooldowns. You don't need to force it, right? You could force it as a full strong 6 versus a 4 when you actually because again they have 2 people down right now, right?
Yeah,
It's like you can force that once you're ready, right? Because 4 versus 6 without their abilities, it's still possible that the 4 is going to win. You see what I'm saying?
yeah, that makes sense. 'Kay, I do hear that pretty often, or at least that's kind of like the mindset
Yeah. Because
that
right
we have.
now would be a pretty cool time for a bomb. Just like
Yeah.
just a simple little bomb. It just
Hmm.
cleans up the fight just like that. But now the enemy is starting to come back, right? And you don't have your bob. and things like this start happening, and oh no, you got him. Good. You see how you just like went for the headshot first, and then you went for the hip fire. That's good.
Yeah, I need to. I think I need to hit fire like more. I don't know. I stay scoped in like way too much. I feel like.
Yeah, it ended up working in your favor, this whole Bob thing, but it's like it's just so like you probably didn't really need the Bob to begin with, to be honest with you. You didn't really need the
Hmm.
Bob at all. But your team ended up blading, which was probably what won the fight. But it's like, because they like even if they didn't get kills, it's probably like forcing investment from them that they can't follow up on. Oh yeah, no, they did Nano Blade, didn't they?
Uh, Probably. Yeah, that probably zoned them off. Or zoned them out. I think the supports.
Yeah, she literally just used it. Yep, they went for Nano Blade. So just because of that, it's like it's gonna put a lot of strain on the enemy, even if it doesn't get the kills. It's gonna
Yeah.
make the enemy
Hmm.
have to like use so much that they just can't keep up with it. Where it's like you can think if you pop Bob early, or like
Hmm.
if you get that Bob early, then you clean up the fight, and then you have Nano Blade for the next fight, right? Um,
Yeah.
but then again, that comes down to kind of communicating with your team. But it's like, you know, you're not really in comp, so I'm not really gonna nitpick about that. But yeah. Let's move forward and see what's going on here. Genji dies. Okay. Alright, so you're focusing the tanks to bait out abilities first, that's good. But then your angle is a bit too, like,
To
passive
what?
here, and you're not
Oh.
really taking into account for
Mhm.
what could potentially be happening on your road, right?
Yeah.
I
The
think,
soldier kind of surprised me, I guess, because I was too busy. I was like looking at these two on the high ground. I didn't really know soldier was left side.
yeah. I would argue, not even so much, that's kind of wrong. I wouldn't say the thing was I wouldn't say that your position wasn't aggressive enough. I would say that it's like you just put yourself into a shit position where it's like you have too many angles open,
Yeah.
right?
Mm.
That's the issue. It's not so much that you weren't aggressive enough. Is that like you can think if you moved up towards here and you did this,
Hmm.
right? Or if you stayed
Then I'd
back here and
really.
you did this,
Yeah.
right? You wouldn't be exposed to here and potentially down here, right? Like if you're let me see.
Hmm. Just kind of too out in the oven.
But yeah, right. The whole thing is that you don't want to expose yourself as a DPS, especially since you're squishy. You don't want to expose yourself to more angles than you can't see, right? Or more angles than you can see. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
Right.
Mm.
So it's like when you move up here, you're kind of just like hoping that nobody actually flanks you,
Yeah.
right? And it ends up being like a big deal where it's like, do you actually die? You
I
somehow
I
don't
went the
die.
car and then I dynamited the soldier. I don't know what I did. I don't remember what I did after that. If I went back up out there.
Yeah, somehow you don't die, but it's like I think you could be doing a lot more. Like actually go back and let's see what you're actually doing throughout this part here. You're so low. And then your Mercy has to invest so much time into you here. But, now you're close again, and now you're here again. You see how it becomes like kind of
Oh, yeah, messed up my dynamite.
yeah.
I can't hit this Falcon Mercy so hard.
Don't really worry too much about focusing the Valkyrie Mercy, to be honest. It's like you can, but it's like they're very hard to hit, and a lot of the times
Yeah,
the value, the time that you could be spent that could be spent focusing
could
on
just go into
somebody
one
that
of
your
the
teammates are
like a easier
focusing.
target. Yeah, like a easier to hit target or
Yeah.
something. Somebody else.
Unless if she's like one or something, or you do
Yeah,
land one shot and you just want to hit fire it or go ahead, but it's like you don't want to spend too much time on it. You don't want to divert all your time spent shooting towards that. Eventually you need to turn away from it. This ended up working, but I feel like you dropping off of like here earlier on,
hmm
or like you being here, getting flanked, and having being down here, it just kind of like it puts a bit too much on your teammate's plate, where it's like you could just be like here instead, right?
yeah.
Or you
It
could be like
makes.
back here firing at people, and then
Mhm.
you move towards here or whatever. Like, The whole point is that you're opening yourself up to too many angles. They can move towards here. It's just a bit risky, and it's like I think you'd be
Yeah.
building up a lot more ultimate, and you could be like rather than being down here, getting shot up by the Lucio and getting low again, and then hoping that you get pocketed, right? It's leaving too much like to hope. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
No.
I think I don't remember what happened here.
This is fine. Well, yeah, you're like one of the two people on card. I would just say get ready to.
For them to recontest.
Yeah. What is going on? Okay.
I guess my team somehow died. I tried to, I was like one of the only people on cart, so I threw Bob on cart at that point to kind of hope we win the fight,
I think you should be pushing up.
yeah, instead of the tanks maybe.
Like, it's like you can see that your team is here. It's like
Mm,
when this fight ends here, again, you want to waste their time, right? So you go up here, you dynamite. This is where I would say
Mhm.
you coach gun, and you potentially move up towards like, whoops, towards like here, right? And you
Okay.
can fire. You can help people prevent from the choke. If you see that somebody starts, then it kind of incentivizes like your teammates, like somebody else to stay on cart rather than you, who wants to be like constantly building up alt charge, constantly wasting time, like making them use resources early.
hmm
You being up here incentivizes somebody else to stay back here. That would be like the Ana, because it's like you
Yeah.
can see you stay back here, and it's likely that the Ana wouldn't have gone up. Do you see that?
No.
Yeah, she pushes up with to help Sigma, I think, or to help the tanks up
And at this
there.
point, you could be chucking in dynamites in here. You can be doing whatever. You could potentially help. You can help break the Zarya's bubble.
hmm
You can be doing a bit more. And then from here, it's like, um, what's it called? Sombra, like if you're in here or something, Sombra comes up to you. Sombra comes up uh, to your Ana, or Zarya, whoever it is that's on here. You're able to help them, right? Because you can see on the card, right? If they come onto you, then you're by your teammates, so you're fine. See that?
If I push up there.
Yeah, if like the Sombra ends up like not this, you don't need to be like up here. This is
hmm
like, do you see why this is an issue?
Yeah.
Right? It's like you would just be exposing yourself to a lot of damage, but it's like you could be like up here, just making this a bit more of a clusterfest, or like just like a
Okay.
bit,
Yeah, just keep pressuring the enemy
yeah.
team a little bit more, helping them
And
pressure
then
them.
it allows you to like rotate like that and do your thing.
Okay.
But it's like it's purely just you keeping in mind that the Sombra is somewhere, right? And you don't want to be
hmm
like out in the open or like on your own. So like being here allows it for like you can like just like come up to your Mercy, and then like you get healing from her, and it's like
Yeah,
relatively
I have
simple.
definitely a higher chance of surviving if Sombra tries to.
And if you're keeping in mind that they have a Sombra, you're listening for where she is. You hear her decloak and like start firing at somebody. You can help firing. You can
hmm
help fire from here, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So yeah, this is where all the crazy shit happened. I think that was the issue with this. I think you didn't really realistically, the Zarya shouldn't really be contesting to begin with. Like, I hope you don't lose this.
We do, because we lost two, I guess, to Roadhog. The Roadhog killed two. Like,
Oh, the hack.
my Bob got hacked. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I would say this is you. Um, you need to take the ground a little bit earlier. You don't necessarily need to be like looking in their spawn. That's a bit too aggressive.
Just be up there, closer to the team. We're playing
Yeah,
closer to them,
make it so
helping
that
them
somebody
pressure.
else sits on the cards, and then you could be
Okay.
you could be doing something else. I mean, if
Yeah.
you wanted to pressure like their spawn, you could be like here.
Yeah. hmm
You could, but there's just a bit of a risk of like you could potentially get like helix.
Get
It's
get
like
hooked or something. Yeah.
they're literally all looking down here, right? And then yes,
hmm
exactly. You don't exactly know where they are. You don't know if one of them's regrouped, one of them's
Yeah. If they're
rotating.
like right beside me.
it's a bit risky,
So,
and it's like you're
um,
kind of isolated, so you might as well help with what's going on up here, and then have somebody else push, and then you're helping prevent them actually come up like through here. You see what I'm saying? And like
yeah.
this Zarya that bubbled up there, I don't know how she was able to contest the car for so long, but she probably shouldn't have been alive to contest to begin with. And like I think you being
hmm
there might have been able to help with that.
Yeah, to stop her from getting there in the first place. I think her and Lucia both contested.
Can't blame
The
her.
soldier popped visor here. I killed him during visor, and then I got killed after.
You see, that's kind of the difference between winning and losing at this point. Yeah.
We end up like barely losing this game.
That payload moving.
Why are you deciding to go down here?
Um, I don't know, honestly.
What's the issue with being down here?
There's too much enemy fire. Like going towards Sigma, they could easily just killed me too.
Hmm.
Like too much pressure in this direction.
You also don't have as good of an angle to throw dynamites as well, right?
Yeah.
There's just like a lot of things that end up being a lot harder for you to deal with from being down here, right? Like now they're shooting at you and you're backing off. Now you're up here, but then now the Roadhog's behind you. You don't see it. You're gonna get hooked.
Yep.
There you go.
Yeah, the Red
Right.
flank killed me there.
Yeah, you need to take that grunt a little bit earlier. I would say that this is where you could potentially be, like,
Just go high ground from the start,
yeah,
kinda.
from the start. I would say just take the stairs, but
Uh-huh.
then potentially up here,
Yeah. Just anywhere that I have like better
right?
sight lines.
Now, yeah, I mean, is your team here? Hey, with your Zara, you could potentially be up here, be firing, clear that lane out, move over here, fire over here,
Mhm.
right? And then maybe move up here once you see that you've gotten like a pick or something, or like if you see that they're backing off, then you could maybe move up here.
Mhm.
But that's where I say that it's like you need to make sure that you're like clearing this. You need to make sure that you're clearing ground
Yeah,
first before
clear
you take
clear
something
something
here.
before I go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because when you go up here, it's like it's kind of risky for you to get shot, and then you end up just like dropping back down. But it would also this also provides you just being like anywhere here or here allows your Mercy to be able to like be a bit more free with the way that she
Mhm.
moves. She doesn't have to be like stuck in here, where it's like I wouldn't be surprised if she got low a couple times.
Yeah. I guess yeah, I need to click I guess clear the area more when I'm before I position. Sometimes I just kind of assume nobody will be there or like
Yeah, and then you know back. There's no reason for you to be dead here. Let's move on ahead then. How do we do this? There we go. Oh, you went Reaper now.
I just want Reaper because I guess the Roadhog. I
You
wanted
wanted
to
to like
like
counter the Roadhog.
yeah, more counter the Roadhog.
But
But I'm not the best Reaper player. I don't really play him like I don't really play him that much. So
yeah, a lot of times it's just better to play who it is that you're comfortable with rather than trying to like counter somebody. Because
yeah.
90% of the time, and like if the enemy team isn't like top 500
Mm.
or like a perfect player, they're gonna make mistakes that you'll be able to capitalize on, even if you don't have a quote unquote counter. It's
Mm.
it's good though. Like, why'd you why'd you leave
I
from
did
there?
that to reload, I guess. Like yeah, because like I don't know, they were all in a grab. I feel like I was trying to like
Okay. Yeah, no, that's not bad. The one risk, the one issue I had, I feel like if they might have not gotten um,
purpled.
purple, that might have been a
Yeah.
risk, because it's like you
hmm
ideally want to save that for when you're actually
Like
taking something, or like you know something's about to be committed to you, like a hook or something.
yeah.
But they were all grabbed in purple.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
guess
think it's
I
bad.
was just trying to like follow up on that grab and the anti is before it
Yeah, that's not bad at all.
capitalize on that before it went away.
There you go. Now you have a long sight line. So what's the issue? What do you need to do?
I need to probably go to back to like Ashe or whatever something here,
Okay,
maybe.
so I ideally that would make your job easier, but it
hmm
doesn't necessarily teach you how it is that you're going to be playing Reaper more optimally, right? So how is it that you want to optimize Reaper?
Just try to get close to them
Uh,
without being in their line of sight.
so
Like,
this is where I would say as Reaper,
Mhm.
you're gonna want to be trying to take ground early.
Just closing the gap,
Yeah,
closing the distance.
you need to close the distance in some way.
Hmm.
And like here, you're gonna see that it's like you have no involvement. You're not building ultimate, and it's like
Yeah.
it's taking a long time for you to do anything. Uh,
Nobody's pushing cart. Like I'm the only one who has that. I
yeah.
don't know.
And that's the thing. Again, this is kind of enforced from you being the guy that's gonna say like, okay, I'll be the one pushing cart. If you just left, somebody else would sit
Yeah.
on it, right?
Hmm.
Instead of you sitting on it. Like this is where I would say it would probably be a good idea for you to be like moving up here. You
Hmm.
fire, you do your thing. You're helping push the Roadhog out. Maybe even get a kill. Maybe. If you
Yeah.
don't, whatever.
Just
You can
basically
cross
kind
towards
of.
here, teleport up here,
Mm.
and then now you can be like around here. And then once your team is engaging and you see that, you can be in their back line, and then you wraith form, and then you continue to pressure their front line. Right?
Yeah.
Because like
Yeah. I
during
could have pushed up.
yeah, because during this time, like so with Reaper, when you're flanking, you want to make sure it's when the enemy team is actually focused on something else, which is like
Hmm.
your team. You have to make sure it's when you're engaging. So that's why you kind of want to do it quickly. I feel like you being here, like just firing at people, would do quite a bit. You could potentially kill this Lucio,
Hmm.
right? But it's like you're
Yeah.
not
That's true.
exposing yourself to that opportunity. You see that?
Yeah. I'm not. I don't have the. Yeah. That's true.
Right.
I don't have the opportunity to do it from all the way back there.
I would, bro, like even just teleporting
Mm.
here would be okay, right? Like this is good, right? Because then at least like now you're somewhat closing the distance, and then if like
Yeah.
the Roadhog, like before he decided to actually walk in here, if you see that he's doing that, you can like fire, bait his hook, and with the Wraith, and then get out, and then now you're back with your team. Maybe you hold like I don't know here. Nah, that's risky. But like you hold back with your team. Like maybe you just like the cart is like probably like here now. You can sit
Hmm.
behind the cart. You can move forward. You can potentially teleport over here. There's a lot
Just
of
kind
things that
of
you can
just
do.
just focus on like closing the distance in
Yeah,
some
you
way, like
you need
some.
to close the distance early because
Okay.
now it's like I don't even need to be in first person of view because it's like you're just kind of
Yeah.
existing.
Helden sterben nicht.
And it seems inconsequential, but you might as well be shooting. Like there's no reason why you can't shoot. But yeah.
I think I tried to get closer. Like I
Ah,
teleport to the
there you go.
side.
Let's see.
What do I do? Oh yeah. Do I kill anybody? Mm.
Nice. And then you get out. Good. I just
I don't know
think
if
you
I
could
should
be
have went
doing
for
it.
the Lucio kill there or the soldier. I don't know. I guess maybe the Lucio. I could have killed him too. Well, I could have. I don't know which one to kill out of those
You
two.
could realistically go for either or.
Yeah, I didn't know who to go for. I guess I just went for soldier because I felt like he was maybe more of a threat to my team. I don't know.
And you can see that both of them are like focused on something, so this is good.
Yeah.
I would say
Hmm.
maybe you want to focus. You focus whoever it is that isolates himself more.
Yeah. When everybody just kind of backs up, I guess, and leaves soldier there, like really.
Yeah. I would say at that point you could be like firing at the Lucia, and then maybe then you can move to the soldier and then just
Hmm.
wraith form out. But this is executed a little bit weird, but
Yeah.
it works, right? But it's
Hmm.
like this is like what I'm saying is that you did this good, but I think you could have
Hmm.
done it like earlier. You could have done one and then potentially do this a second time. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So it's like you're
that's
getting
true.
more value
Hmm.
earlier on.
I think the Roadhog was behind us, like in our spawn or something, and that. I went back to kill, or I think, yeah,
Yeah, looks like he was back there. But
yeah. I went back to go help kill him.
where'd you teleport to?
I
Back to
don't know.
cart.
I guess.
Teleport back to cart.
Heute sehen wir. Yes.
I guess that.
Let's
I
go
think
back
we
to
lose this fight somehow. I don't know what I did.
way too much downtime. Like you're kind of not really
Mm.
involved for quite a bit of this. You don't hold it, man. Yeah, I didn't think so.
I guess I decided to hold it at that point
Yeah,
because everybody pretty much dead.
that ended up being better. But I think you see how you could potentially build up your ults quicker here. Like
Yeah,
if you're doing something, I would say why not peek at the left here, right?
like
Just
the
to
left
see.
door. Yeah, I should have went I guess I don't know why I went out that door. I think I should have went maybe all the way left, like rotate through the left door from there.
End up building ult for the next fight, which is good. But
And then yeah, pretty much blow it next fight
this
on
is
the ult
this
too.
is where it's rough now because they have
Yeah,
the
it's one fight. Yeah, it's literally one fight left.
yeah. So this is probably where you're gonna lose. Let's see. But yeah.
I guess I just tried to ult. I ult here, but I think I just tried to ult whoever was on payload, but they all kind of scattered, so I didn't really get many kills.
Oh, just go for the ult. Just go for it.
Okay, yeah.
'Cause, like,
Okay, I don't know
here
why
it's
I was
just
trying to
like
shoot her.
here it's just like
Mhm.
even if you get one kill, it's worth
Mhm.
it, right? Like you
Yeah.
don't necessarily need to get a 6-man with the ult. Like just get it, go for it.
I kill.
You don't get the mercy.
Yeah, the Mercy. She does a what do you call like a
But you see, it
um.
took too long, and you ended up getting fired at from a different angle.
Yeah, she did a super jump res, and I couldn't kill her fast enough, so she ends up resing that Hammond that I
It,
just killed.
it's just like with the Ashe and the
Mhm.
Widowmaker, where it's like you want to make sure
It's
you're
like too
not
late.
getting that, and
Mm.
but it's like you want to make sure you're not getting exposed from as many angles or more angles than you can see,
Mm.
right? And here it's like you took way too long, where it's like as opposed to being like here and ulting, right? It's like not many people can see you from like right here, right?
Yeah, I could have killed I could have pretty much got a guaranteed kill on the Mercy if I just would have
Easy
ulted
guaranteed
there.
kill, and then you just keep moving
Hmm.
forward and you kill whoever else, right? You could potentially help with the Sombra in the background or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes
Now he
sense.
ends up getting the Hammond, and then that's gonna screw you over because he's gonna stall forever.
Yeah, these beat, and
По готовности. Огонь по готовности.
I think our Sigma got hacked too. I know we had Grav and Flux that fight. I guess that tanks got hacked or something and couldn't use it.
Yeah. All right. Well, so let's go over what is it exactly that are like your yeah.